right, we're going to talk about this post right here, which is the response to the acknowledging community feedback, which we waited 3 weeks for. And I'll be very, very blunt about this, that there's a lot of good things in this post. I think a lot of people are going to be unhappy no matter what. And my initial response to this voice, this clip right here, I was reading this post and I was like, okay, this is good, this is good, this is good. And then I got to the very end and this is exactly how I felt. Summary. What? That's all? You're kidding me, that's all? Where's the stuff about gold? Where's this stuff about red stars? Where's this stuff about RTA? You gotta be kidding me. That's it? That's it? 3 weeks for this? Yeah, so it's not so much what's in the blog post. It's about what's not in it. And I actually think the blog post has a lot of good stuff in it. And we're gonna go over it because I think there's some good things. One of the biggest criticism of this, it looks like, other than training materials, I think a lot of players are going to say, so what? Like, that's in-game stuff and it doesn't matter to me. There's no addressing of Gear 13, no addressing of Red Stars, no addressing of Gold, no addressing of RTA. And so we're going to read it because there is some good thing. The first thing that they talk about in this post is training modules. And I'm just going to get to the part. They're talking about 80,000 experience or 1,000 L3 training models in addition to what we're already getting a month. And so somebody said that's enough to take one character from level 1 to 74. And I think another person said that, that's a bit. It's not a lot, but it's extra, right? And the way that they're going to go about doing that's a little bit controversial, if you ask me, is that, we have Chaos Theory and Payday, and they're going to add a monthly event for training materials, and it's going to require skill military, and I'll come back to that. But the way that those events work is the first time they come out, you can only do the first 3 tiers, and then the next time it comes around, you can do the second 3 tiers, and finally the third version of it, you can do the last tier. And so that's interesting because they said this is not going to come out, not this patch, but the following patch. So that is sometime in May is that when they're going to do this. And before then, they're going to make Yelena available or fountainable. And they also said that Black Widow is going to be get the military tag. So if we look at skill military right now, a lot of veteran players already have Punisher, Killmonger, Mercenary, Soldier, and Black Widow. A lot of them do, right? So the holdup is going to be Yelena. And really, so let's say the event comes in 2 months, and then getting to that last tier will be, on the third version of it. So probably 3 months later. So the idea is I'm going to have 4 months maybe before I need a 7 red Yelena. Are they going to provide a reasonable way to get Yelena up and running? Now, the bad news about this is that it's also skill military. Now, they do acknowledge that skill military is a bad team, and we're going to read that. But again, I think there's a lot of people who are going to say, so what? All this is doing is forcing me into skill military. I think a lot of people made the smart decision and completely ignored skill military, and now they're going to be forced to doing it. So we're going to get that. They said team rework. We're going to get to that. Yelena's character shards more accessible. Nothing about Red Guardian, and Red Guardian is the superstar on that team as a plug-and-play character without a doubt. And the first run of the event is targeting around May. So not this patch, the following patch. And similar to Chaos Theory, the first time completion rewards will be generous to give some initial relief up front. And also, I already brought this up, but the first time you play it, you can only go to the 3rd tier. And then the second time you play it, you can only go to the 6th tier. And then it's the 3rd time that you can get all the way through it. Secondly, we will be increasing the amount of training materials you get from daily objectives from 1 L2 and L3 each to over 15 L3 training materials every day. Fine. Training materials will also be added as rewards to various areas, including login calendars and level rewards. Now, we just got this from our friends in Australia, a 14-day calendar, which will, my account reset will start showing, which is in a couple hours from now. And there is training materials. Also of note is that these are T50. These are the 15 armory orbs, a total of 9 of them. And what this means to me is I will actually probably be able to finish up what I need to finish up the 16 characters to go into DD4. So that's good. This right here is 14s, the armory 14s. And then this right here, I believe, is a beta beta Greek orb is my understanding. So this is part of what they're saying in the post, is that they're going to have login calendars. Fine. Finally, we know May is a couple months away. We'll be looking for opportunities to provide you additional training materials in the meantime. This will likely include training modules in advanced milestones and new features. Now, they talk about the skill military retouch here, right here. We're gonna skip to that. We're gonna go back to the other part. Some players invested significant resources into characters with the skill and military traits and provided feedback that the team isn't quite meeting the expectations, which is true. I've been talking about it for a minute. While this team can challenge many other squads at an equal power level, we've seen that they haven't been winning as many battles as we intended. Combat team is now taking a second pass at the skilled military team, make some additional improvements that should increase their effectiveness in combat. Additionally, which this is kind of nice, adding the military trait to Black Widow. So it should be another character you have the option of swapping in. We anticipate that these changes are going to be live in version 5.3, which is May. Right now we're in 5.1. If I were to guess, we're going to get a 5.2 patch somewhere in these 2 weeks right here. I don't think it's next week, but maybe it's somewhere around there, and then we'll go forward. All right. So character balance is ongoing, ever-changing endeavor for us. We always appreciate your feedback to assist in striking that proper parity. Now, the good news about this is that they never acknowledge Wakanda, and so I think this is a step in the right direction. Because Skilletary was definitely referred to as Wakanda 2.0. Orange gear. Largely, I like this, but the main thing for me is that they don't address the Gear 13 issue at all. Similar to training modules, we looked at orange gear availability in different areas, which we can nearly double the inflow of standard materials like catalysts, stat catalysts, and orange in gear. So they're talking about SBCs, the damage armor catalyst, and then the origin gears is going to be like the isomers or the phosphates or the spiky balls, whatever you call them. We'll be increasing orange gear availability in the following ways. Doubling this SBCs and daily objectives, fine. Doubling the non-first time rewards in the relic hunt. Doubling the value of SBCs, stat catalyst, and orange gear in the raid store. An additional row of orange gear into the raid store. Now, so this is kind of interesting. Anybody that has an abundance of raid materials, that has been hoarding raid materials, is going to get the main benefit from this. And, I've got over 200,000 in that currency, and they're saying that it's going to basically double the availability. So this is the origin pieces right here, and this is like the catalyst. Okay. I guess I think that the shortage on orange gear is more than double, but I'll take what I can get. Then this is also kind of easy. The per unit cost of all orange gear except for uniques in the main supply store will be reduced, and the quantities resulting in. And so this is basically pieces that I never, ever, ever bought in the supply store. They're talking about like this right here and this right here. I never buy that. The only two things I buy in the supply store here was gear, the 13s and the 15s. And basically they're doing nothing with the 13s at all, which is trash. 300% more value on superior basic catalyst, going from 240k pieces to 240 for 20 pieces. So basically this number right here will go from 5 to 20. Okay, I was never buying him, so it's good. 60% more value on the basic origin gear, going from 32k for one piece to 60k for three pieces. Let's see. So like this would be an origin gear right here. This is going to go from 60k for three pieces, and then 100% more value on the stat catalyst, going from 96k for three pieces to 80k for five pieces. So that would be this piece right here. This is a catalyst right here. This will go from 90. It'll now cost 96k. It'll now cost 80k for five pieces. So they're going to drop that price in half. Fine. Additionally, this is a point where the natural life cycle of Gear Tier 15, where you provide more access to Gear Tier 15, and they're going to do this in a couple different ways. Double the quantity of the mini unique bundles in the War Store and Orb, going from 1,400 war credits to two pieces to 1,400 war credits for four pieces. So basically what that means is that right here, we're going to get 4 instead of 2. And then in the store, they're going to change the prices from one piece for 70k, from one piece for 50k to two pieces from 70k. Okay, fine. Okay. No mention of Gear 13 whatsoever. No, which is going to be like alien spores. None. All right, the additional Gorge gear reward in the next section as well. Raid milestone rewards. Boy, this has not been updated since the game came out. As previously mentioned, we acknowledge that the milestones were overdue in an update. We'll be adding additional tiers of milestones that are rewarding blue, purple gear, and orange gear raid. Furthermore, there'll be top tier milestones, specifically Doom Raid, progression, and exclusive rewards. We anticipate this happening towards the end of March. Fine. Skill military characters. Fine. Technical issues. I just want to say this. Nobody should be patting them on the back for this. Fixing Thor's hammer throw. My goodness. Fix it. Buffs not expiring where intended. This is the Phantom buffs. It applies to positive and negative. They're going to fix that. Again, I don't think anybody should be patting them on the back for this at all. Arena exploit. And I'm going to read this because I don't think this refers to the slingshot at all. Arena exploit. When it comes to exploits, it's a tricky situation regarding communication. On one hand, we do not want players to know that we're aware of an exploit and are investigating how to close the loophole. On the other hand, players that didn't already know about the exploit might seek information on how to abuse it. Given the recent concern over this exploit, we feel prudent to time to acknowledge it and say that what we're doing about it. What we're going to do, without going into too much detail, there's currently an exploit that allows players to manipulate arena rankings in an unintended way. We'll have a fix for this to go live in the version 5.2. So that's next patch, probably in the next 2 weeks. All right, I'll come back to my thoughts about this. Black Panther passive ability, they're going to fix it. Costumes. This is kind of interesting. They give a kind of a two-handed answer on this. They're saying that costumes are going to come out and they're not going to affect stats, but they might change their mind on it. Literally, that's what it says. We very legalese. Basically, if someday they want to change their minds on this, they will. It's basically they say, oh, the questions the Karen's balance abilities. The answer is no, but in the future we might. Okay, fine. And this is where I lost it. Summary. I was actually pretty excited about most of this information up there. I felt like the post was going in the right direction. It was some good, some bad, but fine. We're getting some acknowledgement of some community issues. And then then the post just ended just like that. And I went, what? That's it? No mention of gold, no mention of RTA, no mention of red stars at all. And I was just completely shocked that it was over. And it's interesting. I go to Reddit, and this is the Reddit post, the same exact post. First top comment, no mention of red stars again. Wow. And then when you keep going down a little bit further, RT, no mention of RTA. And then it says, I also don't think the arena thing they're talking about is slingshotting, which is frustrating. And then if I go down a little further, it basically says, no mention of gold. Anyways, I think Toasty posted this. Summarize the blog post for today. The training material bottleneck screw is turned up to an 11. We'll turn it down to a 9 or a 10. Orange gear bottleneck is turned up to 11. We're going to turn it down to 9 or 10. This is about the raid milestone. Yeah, we haven't touched this since game launched. Oopsies. The person who worked on skill military is now fired. The rest of the team will now fix their mistakes. Costumes will not immediately impact stats. However, they may unlock perks later. We fixed a couple bugs that have been in the game for a while. Yay, give us credit for this. I mean, this post right here summarizes, I think this is Toasty, exactly how I feel. And my main thing that I have is that I want to say probably at least 10% of the community likes RTA. Another 90% is like, oh, man, it's kind of boring, but yeah, the rewards are okay, but I really don't like it that much. That's literally, I think, what most of the community thinks about RTA. And my problem with RTA is that RTA was the offshoot of PvP, balanced PvP, and just PvP in general. And PvP in general wasn't that, it was fun, but there was problems with it. I mean, drafting was too long, but it felt like it could have been something good. Like it was a shell of something better to come, and they just needed to work on it and make it better. Instead, they gave us RTA. They just stripped that down and gave us something. And I want to say that probably only like 30-40% of the community liked balanced PvP. I want to say probably 60% of the community didn't like it. That's different than what's right now, 10% RTA, 90% not really thrilled. They went in the wrong. It seems like this whole RTA thing has gone completely in the wrong direction. And that was my main, and it was not addressed in this post at all. None, not at all. And it just blows my mind. Red stars not addressed at all. In fact, in the last week's post, basically they conjured a way of getting people to buy more red stars by adding some sort of upgrade possibility for Ultron and Ultimus. Oh man. I don't think this is the right thing at all. Overall, the post had a lot of good things. I welcome all of these changes. I'm grateful that all this stuff is going on. It's just there was so much stuff for me missing. And I know people are going to say, well, you can't please everybody. We should just take what we can get. But for me, I'm glad that they're doing something. But I really was expecting probably twice as much information in this post. What do you think? I kind of just was hoping a little more. I really was. I know we're going to get a blog post tomorrow, and people are saying, well, maybe the other half of this is in the blog post tomorrow. No, the blog post for tomorrow is going to be just like the normal weekly blog post. It's probably going to have information on the Moon Knight milestone, whatever that's going to be. I don't know. I'm guessing it's going to be like Red Guardian or Anti-Venom. Probably going to announce what the next Blitz things are going to be. It's going to announce what's the next double drops. Maybe it's going to announce what the next legendary character. That post is not going to have this stuff. I don't know what to do at this point. Where are you on this? How do you feel about all this? Put it down in the comment section. I felt like the information was good, but it just left out so much. Like it was just missed so much, and I'm not really thrilled about skill military. And also, what if you're a player where I imagine there's a large number of people that looked at this post and said none of this applies to me other than training materials. Like maybe that's the only thing in this post that even affected you. Put that down there. All right, let me know what you think. And as always, thanks for watching. Keep on gaming.